I am Nana Dr. Michael Agyekum Addo. We are going to discuss the principles of success and wealth creation, honesty and reliability, hard work. Don't spend it all. After that, we'll discuss investment, how to invest. Then I'm saying that you don't have to forget your history, who you are, and where you belong to. Then we'll touch on the God factor. Finally, patience. All these ingredients will go into one being successful. Then, because entrepreneurship is the order of the day, we'll also discuss the entrepreneurial revolution in the 21st century, so that graduates and then those who will be watching home base would also arm themselves with the ingredients of becoming a good entrepreneur. There's going to be a series of both the principles of wealth creation, which addresses attitude, and that of the fundamentals of entrepreneurship. Home base is the action point. Stay tuned and go by the series. Thank you.
Sabroso olive oil, mejani yetepa. Sabroso olive oil, angwa kroji tete. Sabroso olive oil, mejani yetepa. Sabroso olive oil, sobina soshe.
Sa ikidien kratwo. Evdi ajatum se eye.
Right, viewers, you are welcome to this week's entrepreneurial training. Last week, you remember we discussed a lot about how to create ideas, and we said we are going to give you how to identify business opportunities in Ghana, not outside Ghana. So in this studio for today, I have Makida Kolati or Folati, from University of Ghana, reading political science. Then I have Richard Addo, a PA of one of the pharmaceutical companies, personal assistant to the CEO, Mr. Richard Addo. You are welcome.
Thank you.
We are going to discuss identifying opportunities. Last week, I even touched on the fact that we have 5 sensory organs: the eyes, the nose, the ear, the tongue, the skin for feeling. These 5 organs offer big time opportunities. Eyes can give you television set, reading newspapers, so you go into that industry. If you want to go into the entertainment, it's the eye to see. Now the ear is also for entertainment. Eye also for sports, to see, to watch football, badminton, table tennis, athletics, and so on. All these create business opportunities. If you're a graduate and you don't have any job to do, you want to go into human resource management training, why don't you go into sports administration, entertainment administration? These celebrities are there. They don't have anybody to really guide them, especially after their pension. What do they do with it? Create a business and then add them on. If you are using your ears, you can have the earrings, earbuds, earache. So you have ear drops, something to do with the ear to make you, to give you a business idea. What do people want to hear? Is it in journalism, like radio and television? Yes. What kind of ideas are you going to give to let your ear become useful? Then you have the tongue to give you taste. You have the skin to give you a feel. Please, these organs offer business opportunities. If I take you into the Bible, you know, Moses was holding the rod. The rod has already changed into a snake, swallowed 10 snakes. So it was a big tool for him, for his business. But he couldn't think about it. Now they've come to the Nile River, so huge, so big. How do they cross? The Egyptians are coming. Little did he know that he had the laser beam in it to divide the water into two. When they walked through it, the road became the opportunity. Talk about David. The sling, the catapult was the opportunity. He used it to kill a whole Goliath that the soldiers, his brothers, couldn't fight. But it was a business opportunity. Naaman had a skin problem, but the house help was the opportunity. And she helped him, and he was healed by the advice that the house help gave him. He goes on and on to talk about Zacchaeus, one of the shortest people in the area at that time. He had the idea. The idea was the tree. So he climbed it, became the tallest person, and Jesus Christ saw him and he became one of the richest people in the world. He even promised that those that he owed, he would pay in doubles and triples. The idea of the tree that Zacchaeus saw and used it became a business opportunity. What do you have in your environment? What is in Ghana that we can talk about? So that is what this week we want really to discuss. And I hope my interviewers would also tell me how they can also make use of the business opportunities around them. So, Mr. Richard Addo, what do you think is in your area that people have not used that I can explain to you how you can make use of the idea that you bring along?
Thank you very much, Doctor. In my area, I think one of the major problems we are facing in my area is that there is a huge traffic on the road. Very huge traffic on the road. I don't know how best people who are looking for a job could benefit from such a huge traffic on our road.
Okay, we are thinking about business opportunities. We've seen that there's heavy traffic in your area. Is it possible to create something that people can use without using their own cars? What can you use that people can use to commute between your area, is it Dodoa or where,
On the
to
Dodoa
the
road.
center of Accra? Could you have this motto, which people are talking about, and the Okada is one of them. Bicycle is another. Those who can come all the way to the university from the Dodoa Road. And then if you can have special type of bicycles that can carry more than one or two, but it can go as fast as the bicycle that you are looking for, could be an idea. You can also encourage the use of bus. You can also, if you have any political influence, to make the dual carriage now 3 lanes left and 3 lanes right. It can make the people commute faster. Getting up too early and going too early home is also not the best idea for the economy of this country. Because you wake up around 4, get to work by 6:30, you're already tired because you didn't have enough sleep. So the business idea is also to get some medication, some tablet that will revitalize the people. When they come to work, they swallow your vitamin and then they get generated to do their business. You can also have a tablet that can slow down their quest to go home. Because by 2:30, 3 o'clock, people have started to go home. Why? Because they think there will be so much traffic. Can we have a tablet that can make them revitalized and that they wouldn't feel like, oh, I have to rush home? Whilst he's in the car, he's not sleeping. He's okay with it. So it's a room for, I don't want to give it to the herbalists, but rather those that can do physical tests, FDA can approve, of vitamins, blood tonics that can generate that enough energy. We're talking about traffic. I'm thinking of a wire that cars can pass on so that some of them can also drive in the air. Think about it. This one you can discuss with the engineers as to what they can do. At a point in time, we're thinking of palanquin. People carry these chiefs on their shoulders, on their heads. And when they get tired, what happens? And I've heard some few chiefs falling down, sometimes getting injured. Can't we have machines that can carry them in the air, like an open car? And strangely, Professor Emeritus Dasibre Utibuatin from the New Dwabing traditional area challenged the Koforidua Technical University, and they've come out from a motorized palanquin. So he's the first person in the whole of the world, for which I believe very soon it will be showcased to the whole world. And if the president would wish to even showcase it to the world, it's a beautiful art piece. That is the idea. He saw that he couldn't allow people to carry him. So your traffic thing, think about it, how people can drive in the air, underneath, on the surface. There are 3 areas by which they can commute to Accra and back: underground, overhead, or on the ground. Those are the ideas.
Very interesting.
Yes, Makida, you have any other question?
How do you deal with an employee who underperforms in our current?
We are talking about identifying opportunities. Now you have identified the opportunity, you've started your business, and Makida is asking, how do you deal with these staff that will be worrying you? They are underperforming. They are not helping you. Meanwhile, he calls himself a graduate. He's brought a whole big CV and a big certificate, second class, first class, and so on and so forth. But they are underperforming. Means that they are not doing what you are expecting them to do. They are not bringing any ideas. Either they are not effective or they are not efficient. How do you deal with them? Number 1, you can also sack them. Number 2, you can train them. Number 3, you can challenge them and tell them that, please, these are the things that you need to do for me to accept you, for me to love you, for me to give you increase in salary or working conditions. He's underperforming. You must do assessment, either weekly or monthly or quarterly. And then you prove to him that these were the targets, these are the things that you needed to do. These were the things that I was expecting, but you are not doing that. Your marketing skills has not been improved. The sales that you are bringing is not good enough. The production target, you are not meeting the production targets. Why? You are underperforming. Then, if you train him and he's still not performing very well, please ask him to go. Show him the exit of the business.
Doctor, I have a question. It's in connection with the business opportunities. How will you refine a business opportunity? Because I know years back, we used to gather our rubbish and then throw them about all over the cities were full of rubbish. But in some few years ago, one man came and then he started a business called Zoom Lion, and today everybody knows about Zoom Lion. But we were all seeing this refuse all over, the waste, but we couldn't make good use of it. So how do you refine an opportunity in your environment to generate
existing opportunity?
Yes, to generate a lot of wealth out of it, like he is doing currently.
Okay, that's what we call innovation. And I've come out with a book, Fundamentals of Entrepreneurship. This book is the beginning of good business ventures. So innovation is in. That is the existing business that you need to improve upon it. Remember, our mothers used to grind their contumely, their pepper on a rock, on a stove. Okay? Then came this pestle and mortar, Ayua Nitapoli. Now we have the blender, faster, and grinds and does all these things. So it's an innovation from the stone to the pestle and mortar and now to a blender. Today, you can even pound your fufu in a small machine at home. So those are the things that you need to know. What are your eyes seeing? And what are your ears hearing? And then you innovate. I realized that people have innovated the package of cocoa pie. And now they have the cocoa in a cup, then they have the sugar in a sachet, milk in a sachet, put all together in a box, beautifully done, branded nicely, and then they sell. That is innovation. So what do you see in your area, in your community? And last week I was mentioning about kelewele, and I want to emphasize on that. It's a delicacy people like. They go to films in the evening and they would like to finish it off with kelewele. People eat very well at banquets and they want to use it as their dessert, kelewele. Yeah. So if you can really promote it well and add on such that the kelewele will be still tasty and then packaged well, it's a business opportunity. Yeah. Those watching us, I believe it's an opportunity in Ghana here. And the raw material is so easy, plantain, get it ripe, and at the right level of ripening, you can make your kelewele nicer. Rather reduce the oil. The oil after the frying, you have a way of just mopping up the oil from it. And then you add the peanuts or kobe or whatever. Peanut can have the peel, the skin around it, or you can peel it off, or you can add salt, or you can add sugar. Whatever you want to do it, try at home. If it's tasty, just take it up. Don't let us go on to the fried rice, pizza, KFC, and then forget about our kelewele using our plantain. Now plantain chips is all over and it's doing very well. Yeah. It requires nice packaging. We are talking about business opportunities, and we are talking about innovation. So what we have, like cassava, cocoyam, yam, put them into various forms to add value to them. And I'm sure you'll be there. You innovate. So I've given you the stone scenario to pestle and mortar and to blender. We are talking about plantain as plantain chips or kelewele, offam, tatale, and the rest. These are things that you can do with plantain. Roasted plantain is also very popular. What do you add to it to make your roasted plantain special? These are the things that we are talking about. That is innovation. So have ideas. Watch what people are doing. Don't try to copy them like a copycat, but innovate. Add on something to make you. Otherwise, get my book, Fundamentals of Entrepreneurship. And there's a chapter on how to identify business opportunities. And then we talk about opportunities already in the system and how to add value to it. Any other question? Otherwise, I'll give you.
Doctor, I have a question.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask, how do we make sure that people's CVs are not forged and all that? Because people these days add stuff that are not supposed to be there. Like the person didn't work in certain companies, but they say they worked in certain companies to get the job they want. How do you make sure that is avoided?
Oh, okay. Now I realize that Makida wants to set up her own business, and she wants to know how the underperformers will be handled. Now she's asking how you can be sure of whatever they are saying that they are, whether it's true. Yes, I agree with you that people lie a lot these days. Somebody came for an interview with me, and her CV said that she has first degree in economics. So the first question we asked her, what is economics? And took her 10 minutes, she couldn't tell us what economics was. So it means that she was lying. Yeah. Yes, so we couldn't employ her if you couldn't know what economics is. If you have a degree and a certificate. The certificate was in her name anyway. And it was so embarrassing. All right? CVs, cross-check. Personally, I had somebody before me, and in her CV was, beautiful CV. Then she wrote references. So the referees. So I called one of them. Do you know this lady? She said, yeah, she was my secretary. So I'm looking for a personal assistant would you recommend her for me? He said, oh, yes, first class. You have to employ her, and I can vouch for her. Okay, she said she did this training. Were you the one who gave her the training, or you sent her outside, or you asked her to do? Say, oh, no. This one, I didn't ask her to do that training. Oh, but it's in the CV that you say you trained her. So how did she get trained? Oh, that CV, I think my other secretary really gave her that testimonial. So it means that you didn't know her so well that you said she should add you to her references. Oh, I think you have not done very well. Oh, you are a CEO, and that I want somebody that you can vouch for. I realized that the man was just trying to please her. He didn't know exactly what was in the CV. So I didn't employ her. These are some of the things that you can cross-check. In fact, I will even advise you that sometimes ask for police report, their criminal background. Most of them, especially the marketers, have done something wrong somewhere in marketing before they are joining you. If you ask their previous employment, sometimes some of these employers are honest enough to tell you that whilst he was with me, this is what he did. And that can advise you. That can inform you. If you ask for police report, and the police report tells you, yes, he had criminal record when he was an infant. He did this, he did that, and that he has been in the police station for a couple of times. That should inform you. You can also ask around his friends, his family. Sometimes some parents are bold enough to tell you what their children are up to. It can also advise you. So don't just take the CV literally and employ. As you said, it can have dire consequences if you just depend on the CV. Ask around before you employ.
Doc, I have a question. My question is, in our country, we have a lot of problems around us, and we are talking about business opportunities. Is it because our mindset or our minds are blocked to the point that we can't identify the business opportunities?
Our minds are not blocked per se, because we don't have the questioning mind from the training that we've received from infancy, from schools, from our churches. We are timid in our thinking, in identifying business opportunities. The churches, I blame them for putting fear in us. And the more we put fear in your church members, the more you are blocking their generation of ideas. So it's the kind of training that you received. So if I could answer, what's your question? If I could answer very well, then...
Okay.
What is it?
No, I was asking, is it because our mindset or our brain is
blocked or not blocked?
That's why we can't identify, because...
So timidity is one.
Okay.
Depending upon the way you were trained. Fear is the second. Doubt is the third one. We doubt what we can do. Who am I? Oh, can my voice be okay? Would people like it? What I'm doing, is it fair? We fear criticisms. And we criticize a lot. We call them dream killers, especially friends. You can't do it. Nobody has ever done it this way, and so on and so forth. So the mind should be free. What am I saying?
The mind
should be free of fear. We should stop talking about witches and witchcraft in this country. And again, our religion tells us that it's the evil, there's the devil, there's Satan, there's this. Oh, they block our imaginative mind. If rather we give it joy, happiness, Paul explained it, the fruits of the Spirit. Galatians chapter 5, verses 22, 23. Talks about fruits of the Spirit. Faith in whatever you are doing, long suffering, and so on and so forth. If you go home, please read about Galatians chapter 5, 19 all the way to 23. And to tell you the destructive tendencies, which is the flesh, and then the spirit, which if you develop, will give you a good mindset to create ideas and to implement. This book also talks about it, investment opportunities in Ghana. And if you are able to identify the business, then you are able to go there. Now, what am I saying in the book? I'm saying that apparel, cotton, and textile is an area. Farming, like cocoa, you know that cocoa has 23 different products that can come out of it. It's not only chocolate.
Wow.
You can also make whiskey, brandy, soaps, all from cocoa. Vegetables, pineapples, and fruits. You can also talk about it. Rearing of animals, rabbits, snails, grass cutters. They are all opportunities. Agro processing, like cassava. You can get industrial starch, fruit and fruit juice. Beauty products. You must do. Floriculture, flowers is another area. Bamboo and rattan can be. Services like internet, auditing firms, consultancies, and vocations like masonry, carpentry, that will take you into road construction, and so on and so forth. If you get a copy of this book, you should be all right with business opportunities in Ghana, fundamentals of entrepreneurship, and you should be there. I wish you guys very well. Next week, we'll still talk about entrepreneurship, which I'm saying is a revolution. You must be part of it to be able to make it the next 10, 20, 30 years to come. Thank you for coming, and I hope viewers would also be ready to ask and put on your comments. The telephone number, the contact number will be under the screen. Just go there and then go on to home-based television, YouTube and Facebook, and get this message 100%. I thank you for viewing us and watching. Thank you.
Thank you.